Thursdays are my favorite here on Kababayan LA. I always say that kasi tuwing Webes po, nakikilala natin mga bagong Kababayan performers. They represent us sa music industry. And of course, kailangan po yung pagtatayo ng bandila nating mga kababayan. Once again, this afternoon on the show, we get to meet another Kababayan performer. She just recently released her first album. She performed at FPAC at ngayon po gaining following sa iba't ibang sectors of the community. Hello and welcome to Kababayan LA, StellaMoon. Kamusta? Where did you get your name? Such an interesting name.
Well, my real name is Stella Tolentino, and but I was always interested in the cycles of the moon since I was a teenager. So it developed into Moonbella 13, like the cycles of the moon, the 13 moon cycle. Okay. But then it just turned to StellaMoon.
That's
easier.
Pretty interesting. Yeah. StellaMoon is now your, shall we say, screen name.
Yeah.
Yes. And what about music? So how did you get into music, and when did you get into it?
When I was about 5, I played piano. I just picked it up, and I just picked up the piano. No,
picked up the piano. Was it something that was forced on you? Because I remember when I was 8, 7, my mom was like, do you want to learn to play the piano? And I did take lessons, but I didn't like it, so I stopped.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't like lessons. Fortunately, my mom didn't force it on me. I just started playing one day. I was just listening, and I was trying to pick out the notes, and from there, I started singing, and then I loved to sing, so I just started.
So you learned the piano first before you started singing, and how was that like? I'm sure as a Filipino, at parties, did you have to showcase your talent and stuff like that?
The whole time.
Right.
You know, singing Broadway tunes for grandma and stuff. You know, we would just, our whole family plays, so we had fun just, you know, Christmas.
So it runs in the blood. It's not a surprise that you became musically inclined because your family. Yeah, everyone is. Where do you think? Who do you think did you take after? Your mom or your dad, or uncles, aunts?
My father was a musician. His family all sang, and my mom's family. So it's like my mom's brothers, my uncles, are all very musical and have their own bands.
So because of your genes, so you probably have that skill already, or the talent. Did you have to hone it? Did you go through formal training for that?
Yeah, when I was 8, I started doing musical theater productions, and that was fun. I got to get on stage and do dramatic things.
Right, so it's not just singing, it's also acting.
Yeah, I got into that, and I did that through high school. And in high school, I actually started playing piccolo and flute in the band.
Wow, so you're pretty well-rounded. You're pretty much, you can pick up anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I learned, I prefer to compose music, because I just like working with all the different instruments. But in high school, that's when I started writing more music and wanting to do originals. So.
Who are your influences, or what are your influences? I know you did musical theater, so more Broadway, but then I'm reading through your bio, and it says here that you also have experience in opera, you also have training in jazz, so it's really very different varieties of genres.
Yeah, it's been a lot of stuff that I've kind of processed.
Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, well, no, not really. I really got into jazz and reggae in high school, but at the same time, I really loved Nine Inch Nails and, you know, Nirvana in the 90s. So, but I started studying jazz in college after well, you go to college as a singer, and you realize I need to sing opera. You know, that's what they say. You know, that's the main classical training.
Really? Is that okay. So they say when you train for opera, that means you're already, you can sing whatever. Is that really the basic that you pick up?
Well, when you go into college as a singer, they want you to sing opera. That's like the classical training. So then I went into jazz because I really enjoyed jazz, and so. But yeah, a lot of genres.
What about singers, artists that influence you or inspire you?
One of the earliest artists was Thelonious Monk. He's a jazz pianist. I just loved how quirky his music was. I listened to a lot of Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan, of course. I love Bjork.
Well, that's a wide range of artists. Now I am intrigued to hear your music. You just released an album, as I said earlier, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that when we return on the show. Don't go away.
I'm Lexi, and I don't like morning stress. I like morning yumminess, like a fresh egg I can hold in my hand and an iced coffee. It's